Finish in the field.
There's goddamn rebels out there!
We're right here.
We need to reduce casualties. Be at the knee.
Shoot at them!
Have him
Shoot at
face
them!
left.
To the nose!
Aim shots, aim shots.
Faster, boys!
Damn it, I thought there wasn't
A
supposed to
proper
be anything
soldier
out here!
can
Boys,
shoot
reload!
many times.
Anybody.
Alright, boys, to the north, to the north!
Jesus.
The enemy
I
is
need
coming
to
out of
get
the
such a
woods! The
boner for
enemy
this
is
game.
coming out of the woods!
Guide his left, boys.
Shoulder.
And then Michael.
Around the high uniform, boys.
Ich dachte, das Land ist jetzt weit. Ich dachte, wir ziehen uns so weit zurück. Hätte ich irgendwie stimmiger gefunden.
Nein. Von der
Pass auf.
Hey, they have the cartridges right next to their food.
Maybe if you get some of that bread from me, another fucking scream it out.
Charlie.
Some partisans, you know.
Holy
Are they-
getting
are they-
getting our orders.
Oh, that's what I was
Wait,
Wait,
what?
Oh,
Thanks, but I'll surrender. I'll surrender. I ain't signed up to get shot at. I'll
Hello, everyone. Here we are. We're live tonight. If you can't hear the other people in this or myself, please say something as soon as possible so we can fix that. But here we are tonight. We're talking about, is artillery worth the manpower? It was great last night. We released the topic of this conversation, and there was already some skirmishes happening in the chat between some people in this call. So, very exciting. Let's go through and introduce everybody. First, we got Venom.
Hey everybody, Captain Venom Snake of Graves Battery.
We got Grant.
What's up, everyone? I'm First Sergeant from the 30th Ohio. Corn Protect, always.
Thank you. We got Panzer.
Blood for the blood god. Corpsman Sergeant Panzer of the Graves Battery.
We got Coffin.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Coffin Kill for the 4th Kentucky, also a part of OB, Orphans Brigade.
We got Shade.
Hey guys, Minor General Shade of the 24th Georgia.
Minor General.
Speaking of Killer.
Wagwan. Sorry, yeah, hi.
Thank you. And you know him, you love him, Corded.
I'm Corded, Captain of Delta Company in 6th Louisiana.
That's the last you've heard of him all day.
The memes away. But yes, at the end of this live stream, we'll be taking questions from the audience. So if you have questions that you want to ask anyone on the panel, feel free to put in the chat, and we'll get to that at the end. So quickly, before we go into discussion, Killer made a poll, which I can't pull it up as of now, but according to this, what is it? How many people voted? 39. 26 of them said that artillery is good support. 23% said it's important for the win, and 4 people said it was useless. So, what a demographic indeed. So yeah, I guess we'll just start with the conversation. Is artillery worth the manpower? Anyone want to lead it?
The pool is the correct answer. It's exactly how it is.
No.
It is so worth the manpower. Anyone that
Yeah.
disagrees, I'd like to hear your reason why now.
I mean, when you have 15 people on Arty, you know, it's a lot of the time you'll lose those games. I see it all the time.
Who said you have to have 15 people on Arty?
Every time I see any artillery game like with a lot of people in the game, it's always gone to 15, and it always ends up killing the team that has 15 people on Arty. Too many people on Arty kills you. You need to.
Have you ever
make
played
sure
roulette? Have you ever played roulette lane union?
Yes.
Okay. How many times have you won that match because your Arty battery is absolutely kitted out?
I'm not sure I count,
Not that
but
much.
Killer.
Not that much.
Yeah.
I find that unlikely.
No, I mean, the only way you can win roulette lane on as the Union is if the infantry is good enough at holding the wall
And you have a high
or the
pop.
top of the hill.
Man, you also got to have your Arty support. That helps.
Now, with the new server pops being at 300 as of like the last I don't know how many months, the only reason Union has started winning that map is if they have over 100 people per side, they have a good chance at winning, just based off the fact that it's way harder for the CSA to push a wall that has 70 people on it than it is to push a wall that has 30 or 40 when it's only like a 50, 60, 70 side event. And that's just based on having an extra bunch of infantry guys there. Not necessarily having artillery. And even if you do have artillery, we'd only put like enough for maybe a gun or like 2 guns or about 4 guys up there. Max. Because you don't need any more up there. Quite frankly. Because it's not really going to do. It's going to get maybe one nice shot as they're coming around the left to the right of the barn. And that's pretty much it. Artillery on that map has actually cost the Union actually at some points because CSA once took the wall. Union was pushed to the top of the hill. Artillery started shooting down on them in the wall, getting some really good hits, by the way, killing a lot of guys, I won't lie. But then when the Union took back the corner, they had no stone wall left. So they pretty much lost the game then anyway because they had nowhere to defend for the rest of the 25 minutes that was left of the game. So that cost them the game too. And I'm not saying it's all Arty's fault, I'm just saying they definitely didn't help there. They got a lot of kills, cool, but they really didn't help because then they had
maps like that, right? There's how many guns are there? Ruler lane. There's 6. Okay. Are we gonna have?
There's more than that.
No, there's 6 in total. I'm looking at the map right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Are we gonna have 15, 20 people up there in the hill? Absolutely not. I wouldn't suggest that at all. Yeah, and this is coming from Battery Commander. Okay. There's 6 guns to play with. I have found that map numerous of times. The artillery can be effective and be great support. Okay, why is that? CSA typically like to go where? They like to go behind the red barn. But the one area that's really effective for artillery is yes, a couple of shots there, but it's the left flank when the CSA like to go through the corn to attack the left flank, going down the snake fence. That's open season for the left guns, the 3-inch, the orange rifle guns. They're placed in the hill. Okay, there's 6 guns. If you want to man them each individually, if you have a gun crew that knows what they're doing, you got 6 guys, bam, right there. And if that hill gets charged out, those 6 guys are gonna pull back. I can guarantee you that, especially from my crew.
Except
okay.
me.
Yeah, Panzer likes to send that canister shot.
The last time on Roulette Lane I played, Venom always assigns me to that right cannon because he knows that I'm one of the best canister shots in game.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, because if they come up the fence, Panzer, if they come up the fence, or if they're attacking in the corner by the stone wall, yeah, right? What do you got? You got canister. You can utilize it.
MSG, specifically the 1st Missouri, you can ask General Bryan.
Right.
He actually tried charging around on that right flank, and I was already expecting it. He lost over half his guys and was forced to retreat, because infantry was already on the way. So when I lit up that area with canister, I mean, there was nothing they could do to hold or push out Artie.
MSG has like a 15-man line. I'm pretty sure that's not too much, taking out half of those guys.
Also, answer me this: how many shots did you miss before you hit shots on these people?
Apologies, MSG, by the way.
None.
Insult your
I
intelligence.
rarely miss on that lane.
You rarely miss a shot on Artie, which is the most hard thing to believe in the game.
You said the way you worded it sounded like in that round or on that map.
In that map, I hardly miss because I've got that whole map. Before they changed the physics, of course, I had that whole thing basically, what do you call it? All written down on notes on where I need to aim, what coordinates I need to aim, etc. I've got all that figured out. I've had to adjust over the time, but I rarely ever miss especially on that map, because it's not as far as a distance for me on those shots when I'm on the right side cannon.
Yeah, which leads to the point that I mentioned earlier. Depends who's behind the elevation screw. Okay, if we're gonna go by statistics of how many shots you missed and stuff like that, I can ask you, how many volleys did you miss? How many volleys did you make in?
Completely different though. Infantry is getting kills the entire game. You can't win a game without infantry. You can't win a game without Artie.
Wait a minute. So we're going from you can't win a game from infantry. I'm talking about shots. I'm talking about statistics. Okay.
Can artillery do more?
Yeah, but
artillery, especially in a map like that. All right. If you need to realize gun placement, the guns on the far right, can they interact with the red barn? Absolutely. They can set some case there, whatever. Primarily, what's going to be more effective? The CSA want to do what? If they take that snake fence and overrun Artie, the far right guns need to have what? They need to have canister, so that way they can use against those enemy lines, right? But the question we're receiving tonight is, is artillery worth the manpower? My answer to that is simply, it depends. It's a case by case scenario. Okay.
My point about artillery is, it's like, yes, artillery can be great. It can help out a lot. It's nice. You got Nicodemus Hill, 20 odd cannons, beautiful. It's like Christmas morning. You can get some nice good video clips out of it, some good screenshots, whatever. But like at the end of the day, every single map pretty much is winnable without artillery. Every single map.
How interesting. We'll take your example. Then. On Nicodemus Hill, right? If you want to look at the video, Killer, all the CSA army was where? Behind the White House. So let's take away GB that conducted that barrage to stop IVB in their tracks. The Union would have predominantly done what? Pushed through the apple orchard, probably gone to the far left White Barn, and the CSA was still behind the White House.
Who won that?
Who won that? Yeah, who did win that game?
The other team won that game.
Yeah, the USA team won. Why?
Why?
Did they win?
Because of bad infantry. Is that why they won?
Absolutely. Dude,
it
was my own father watching the recap. My own father that doesn't play the game, and when we were watching the recap early morning when Eagle posted it, he himself was like, why in the world is the CSA army hiding behind that house and not shooting the rest of the Union that just got bombarded?
So the CSA had the best artillery battery in the world playing on their side, and they still lost. Is that what you're telling me?
You can have the best artillery.
Is that, yeah?
But if you don't have infantry to support, that's not going to guarantee victory.
You can have the best artillery.
It's not going to guarantee victory.
It's not going to guarantee victory. You can have the best infantry.
You can still lose, yeah.
You can have the best infantry and the worst artillery, and you can very much win.
Maybe not.
Actually, a
And
lot of the
that's
time when you see infantry
depends.
that's really coordinated, you're gonna see a W. I mean, it's very rare that you'll see that. I don't see it very often when I'm recording, at least. But when they're coordinated, they're gonna win. It's just how it works.
It's all strategic. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
It's all strategy.
Yeah,
If you have
it's
a
all
very
strategic.
good strategic plan, you know, and let's say it's an infantry only map. I mean, there's what 5 infantry only maps out of 34 in skirmish. Okay. If you have a well-based plan, it can go very good, especially if it works like clockwork. You know, it's like Anderson's counterattack in that battle. Eagle wasn't there, but I don't know who was recording. We were skirmishers. Okay.
Yep.
And from us skirmishing and having a certain position on the map, it allowed us and the main infantry line to really push the Union back and to win that match. Now, vice versa. If you don't have a strategic plan, if you just do shit out of limbo, excuse the language, right? Most likely what's gonna happen? You're probably not gonna win the match. Okay.
But my whole point about artillery is the fact that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many. Like, the more artillery guys you have on, say, any average map, well, minus Nicodemus Hill, because there's fucking 20 odd cannons, you know, whatever. The more artillery guys you put on there, lessens the chance that your infantry is going to be successful. And if your infantry is not successful, you're not going to win the game. And that's just a fact.
And guess what? I agree with you. That's why I mentioned. I said earlier, it depends.
He's also saying, here's the thing: KB actually won the semifinals with every single gun, man. We had about 18 people, not 15, 18 to 19 people.
How many people were in the server?
Wait, the semifinals of last season?
Yes.
On Garland Stand?
No, not Garland Stand.
No, what was the Nick? It wasn't Nicodemus, was it?
Nicodemus Hill, but it was it a semifinal or was it like what was it? Playoffs?
KB
It was playoff.
KB second MS played on Garland Stand in
So
the
it was
playoffs
twice.
last season.
Okay, that was Garland Stand. I'm talking about the one where you said
Oh,
artillery.
it was against JD on Nicodemus Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Arturian's Prime 32923. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We had about 19 people on the guns and still won. A lot of infantry, like JD actually had a somewhat better plan in my opinion than Knight did, but we did not allow JD to move properly nor bring in the numbers because we kept cutting them short. And if you watch that video, you'll see that even though their infantry outnumbered our infantry, we had the better plan in the end, and we had the better support. And despite them having more infantry, like you're saying, it didn't matter because they ran themselves into several poorly led charges, especially the infamous snake. You know how it's an infantry charge that's elongated, almost single file into a brick wall on the right flank. So it doesn't matter.
So you're saying JD lost because their infantry did bad, not
Correct.
necessarily the artillery. Sure,
doing
helped, but
I
the
wanna-
infantry could have just failed, and JD lost because of that, regardless of 19 people being artillery.
Correct.
Numbers help. Numbers help, but are they going to guarantee a W? No.
I think a better way to look at this whole thing is that if you can take 19 people out of your infantry line, and if they can connect not a good amount of their shots, but at least enough to make up for what those 19 men would make up in an infantry line, I think it balances out, if not improves the chances of that other team winning. Now, I think another thing to point out is that skirmish, you're either like, it's pretty one-sided whether you have great arty or bad arty. You're most 9 times out of 10 on a skirmish map, you are either destined to win that or lose that. The problem is there's no good middle ground because 99% of the contention or conquest maps have absolutely terrible artillery positions, like not even worth your time. But the few that do, I have seen whoever has the better battery will make the other team's life living hell for the times that they can support, just because it makes it so much harder to advance and hold a position.
Yeah, so it's exactly like how the poll is. How
yeah.
66% of the people said, including myself, said artillery is a good support, and that's all it is. We don't necessarily need it, but it definitely takes some stress off us, and that's all it really much is. And
Well-
even I was talking to one of my lieutenants in artillery last night, and even he agreed that artillery is a good support. And you don't necessarily need it to win, but it's there anyway, and it's a game feature, and people use it.
Absolutely.
Eagle, do you remember? I think it was HRE or some event this past weekend. It was
Eastwood Skirmish?
Dunkers Church.
Oh.
It was Dunkers.
That was
Dunkers
hilarious.
Church. The artillery on that map. Union won. Artillery did nothing for them. In fact,
that was
team
a
killed them
rare.
most of the game.
That was
Dude,
a
those
And they
team
still won.
kills broke my heart, dude.
Yep, but it also goes into what Venom was saying. It also depends on who's on that elevation screw.
But they still won, even though their arty was doing shit. Their infantry
think-
carried them completely.
I think that backs up what I'm saying. That Dunker Church is extremely union-sided. That's not saying that the CSA can't win it. It's very much possible, and I've seen it happen a few times. But it's so union-sided that you can have the worst arty in the game and probably still win.
Yeah,
we won on Sunday EU. Yeah, Eagle got that.
It depends. It depends.
Sorry,
The only map that I would justify having 16, maximum 20 artillerymen is Nicodemus Hill. That's the only map.
And that's because we get cav, which means that we can have 18 guys in artillery because we have 15 to 20 guys that have carbines and some have pistols that make up for having all of those guys off the guns.
Right. And I want to go off of what Grant was mentioning earlier. You know, you have some maps that have a very crappy positioning of a gun. So here comes the question, right? And I asked this myself as a battery commander. You know, I asked the guys and I asked myself, is it really worth to move these guns? Is it worth the time to get a good shot off? Because we're in such a crap position. Now, here's the thing. It's all about timing as well. I only got, 45 minutes for the match? I don't have enough time. I can provide you the best shot if I have enough time to move my guns, but I don't. So we'll be more effective picking up a rifle and skirmishing and causing chaos. Okay? But that's not to say that having a bad position to start out with doesn't mean that you can't make a good position with those guns in a fast time. It's like what is that map where the CSA guns are on the road? In front of them is the whole forest. I forgot the name of that map.
Are you talking about it's on South Mountain, right? Or are you thinking of a different one?
I believe it's a South Mountain.
Garland's on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what we did with those guns? We turn them and make a wall because that's the most use you can get out of those guns on that map is just to make a wall. Same with Piper Farm. Piper Farm is the biggest giveaway. That is one of the maps that I hate when people take artillery because it's just like it's
That's
useless.
because you don't got me on the canister shots, lad.
Yeah, but there's other people like Exorf that he could put on arty.
Yeah, it's just
how about
the
River
best
though?
Go ahead.
Like,
River
do you think
Crossing.
CSA could win without Artie on River Crossing?
On River? No.
CSA never wins regardless.
There is no way.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, even with,
they have
even
been
with
winning more
artillery.
recently because of their arty.
There's still 1 in 10. It's not recently.
I
it's
can have 2 guns in French battery positioned in River Crossing, and the pontoon bridge. You know how the Unions sometimes like to hold down the entrance. I can get rid of that.
There is all the strats where artillery guys have guns aimed at the pontoon when the CSA is running halfway across. The Union forms up, artillery shoots in, bang. Or there's the ones where they use the ones all the way across the river, up in the mountains, where they shoot down pretty much into the side of the whole street and shoot the Union as they're hiding behind the buildings. There's been plenty of artillery strats tried on that map, and yes, it makes it closer, but it doesn't necessarily get us the win. It equally it's just as hard because of the positioning that the Union has and the tickets and all that malarkey. It hasn't changed the game necessarily because all the Union now does is just sit under the rail bridge and they stand further back when the pontoon bridge. So the CSA can, when they're coming across the pontoon, they can run up the ramp a little bit and they can get across the bridge, but then they just get shot down and 5 seconds later than they usually do. Because
that's if you coordinate it well.
Change. Yeah, but once artillery finds a good strat, it works for maybe a couple of weeks, and then the Union or the CSA, no matter whoever it is, just slightly adjusts their normal strategy, to counter the artillery, and then artillery is then screwed again. And they
The
have to
thing
try
is,
and
for that when it's hard to counterattack French battery, it's not doable. I tried in Union battery.
The way Venom positions French battery and the way I position Manly battery, there is literally nowhere you can hide. You will die on spawn. You will die under that bridge thing you're talking about, because we know how to target that now. We literally can hit just about everywhere on that map. So
And just to go off what you're saying, Killer, let's say they readjust, right? They're like, oh shit, Graves battery can hit this flank, right? And White Dev, who's in the audience, he can attest to this. Let's say they do adjust and they don't go there. They go somewhere else. Okay. Well, you're leaving that door open for who to come in then, if you're not there. You see what I'm saying?
I'm not saying they're not there anymore. They just stand further back.
And
Artillery.
we have artillery aimed at that entrance. So if they're back, and if they decide to push forward, we're there. And CSA already have a foothold. They can literally go behind the stone wall that's at the entrance of the pontoon on the Union side.
How many maps does artillery rely on infantry commanders being stupid and practically just standing in front of their pre-aimed cannons? And if they don't do that, you guys are screwed for 45 minutes waiting for.
Kind of reminds me of that Nicodemus battle where they were all in front of
Yep.
us, just standing around.
Stand around.
It all depends who's leading.
Yeah,
Right.
you stand there for countless minutes to get one good artillery shot.
Well, that calls for
How
readjustment.
many
if that
did we
occurs.
shoot that at freaking IVB? Was it 4, 5?
You're going back to one clip of you killing people. It's-
Yeah,
How
I
many
will say
have you missed?
out of all the matches that I've watched, especially recently, artillery misses nearly every single shot. And when they do get a hit, they maybe get 1 or 2 kill, but there's a lot of blood when someone dies.
Yeah.
And then very rarely you'll get these big clips like the one on Nicodemus Hill. So I think for the most part, artillery is not needed. It's bad in a lot of ways. I think Graves battery, you guys are probably the best battery by far in the game. Like when I saw you guys have 1 person per gun on Nico Hill, that was great. I think
Right.
other artillery groups, but like a lot of matches I'll watch, there'll be a good like 15 people on artillery. It's like, what the heck?
This is ridiculous.
In
Yeah.
infantry melees, you're putting your
Mhm.
team down 10, 15 guys because it's not like artillery outside the officer can help, really. Maybe an NCL.
That's right. Venom, could I actually tell him one of the plans we do and have enacted successfully?
Yeah. Let me just
Sure, go
respond to Ego real quick. And Ego, first and foremost, I completely understand where you're coming from. Okay, you have eyes in the skies. You see this occurring. I'll never forget. What was it? A couple days back, the Union artillery was doing those team kills, and when that 3-inch fired and landed in between the feet of the Union, you were quiet, man. You were upset.
Yeah.
I could tell immediately. I'm like, oh crap, beautiful shot, wrong people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it comes down to what I mentioned earlier. It depends who is behind the elevation screw. The matches you've been watching, right? The EU match or whatever. Unfortunately, we're not there. But that one match, and that's why we go back to it, is because that one match that we were there, Grace Battery, we know what we're doing.
So what you're saying
one match
is,
out of how many?
unless Grace
it's you
battery
guys.
is there, artillery is useless.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing right now.
I know. That's
No,
what you
no.
just said. That's what you just said.
You were
said that.
basically
Let's-
saying that you
Hold
guys
up,
were the people
Hold
that are.
up. Let Venom.
I'm just saying I'm just mentioning what happened and what I saw. One day we were there, and then those other events we were not. Right? Oh shoot! Hold
So,
on. I apologize. My computer just lagged.
Unless Grace battery is on artillery, it is useless. Is pretty much what you just said.
What I hear is you have people in artillery who don't know what they're doing and are providing these faulty shots. You need to put other people that know what they're doing or train them. That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
what Provost has how many hours in this game on already? Probably a ton, and yet I'm still scared when he's on a cannon. No offense to you, Provost.
Well, I mean, you can have the hours, but does that really mean you have the
Means you have
capability?
the map knowledge.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the people I've played with on Arty seem to know what they're doing, but the thing is, they're not going to hit over 50% of their shots. Nobody is. No cannon is going to hit over 50% of their shots in a map unless it's river crossing and they're sitting there aiming at one spot and getting one shot off every 10 minutes.
Yeah, Panzer, go ahead. What were you gonna mention? The plan? What was the plan?
So the most we ever run on a gun eagle is 6 people.
On one
Would
gun?
any of you?
Very rare,
Yes,
but that's the
it's
max.
very rare, but we have done it. Now,
Why would you do that?
Why would you do 6 people on a
I
gun?
was
Yeah, what?
Let him explain why, so that way you guys can know.
No, let me then, since you said
Yeah,
I could do it.
go ahead.
So I was going to ask, do any of y'all know why? Do any of you wish to take a guess, you infantry guys?
Faster reloading, maybe? I don't know.
All right. Fast reloading. No, because we only need 2 people for a faster reload per se. All right. So I will take you back to Garland Stand map. Coffin Kill knows how we have run Garland Stand, so he's probably witnessed this, especially if we're on the Union side. We will put 2 men on the wheels, 1 on the cannon spike, and same with the caisson. We had 12 people running the 2 guns on Union side and moved it up with infantry into the forest.
Right.
The reason we did that is to put the guns in a better position, and we even kept the number of battery guys at 12. Do you know why we kept it at 12 even towards the end?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna tell me anyway. Let's listen.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you anyways. Yeah. The moment we cleared the enemy off their guns, we had a team of units run in, take their guns, and turn them on the enemy, and we literally wiped the map with infantry support. This is why we work so well with groups like 4th Kentucky, MSG, and others, because we coordinate with them. We'll take the enemy's guns and blast them point blank with their own cannons. We have done operations Rocky 2017 down there in the audience. Me and him have cleared a cannon area out with Lieutenant Hughes, he's actually in here. We actually ran down Schoolhouse Ridge on Union side, grabbed CSA guns, and were pounding them in the back while Union infantry was keeping them distracted.
You can claim that you're pounding them, but no one knows how many people you were actually killing. You could be killing 1 guy per shot and, see a blood splatter. Nobody knows.
What recordings are for. That's what the infantry commanders are for that talk to us and tell us. For example, I am usually on radio comms with whether it's General Knight, General Bryan, or whoever, helping guide in those shots to make them more effective.
So on Garland Stand, for example,
Sure.
how many? I can count. I can't even count it on both hands the amount of times we have went on a little Rambo excursion through the right forest for the CSA and repeatedly killed 4 artillery guys standing around a cannon. They're trying to wheel through the forest over and over and over and over again, and that is the same on any map. It's so satisfying to just go and charge artillery because there's literally nothing you guys can really do to defend yourselves without infantry.
As a Rambo player, I agree with you.
Listen.
But hold on, Buzz. But when we had no infantry cover and saw the infantry was falling back, we fell back with them so they would not get those kills, because that's how we play an event. We play for the team.
Quickly introducing Bus. Bus, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm in the bathroom at work right now. I just want to say artillery is useless on all but 3 maps, apparently.
Thank you.
Nicodemus, Schoolhouse Ridge, and River Crossing. You guys are, I don't want to say delusional, but living in your own fantasy world where artillery is all important. It's not important. I love you guys.
You know what?
The happy just spat is crazy.
Be a good capitalist. Get back to work.
I love you, boss. Thanks. I needed that.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, boss.
That's
gonna work.
That's one of the
I support your opinion.
Crashed, and so that is why I let Bus in here.
That's right. I'm fucking with you, GP. Don't worry.
I agree with you, Bus.
He said more than Corded has.
Right. Corded did
That's
have a
actually
power
true.
outage, which is why he left. But
I didn't even notice. Dang.
I did. I saw right when it happened. I was confused. But
yeah, rest in peace to our man Corded. But
He had a good point though.
You guys, out of curiosity,
yeah,
for shits and giggles, you guys ever played Nazi Zombies Call of Duty?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Everybody has had a
You
child.
know the levels, how they show like they're red and blood, like level 1, level 2.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that was a kill marker for rights to artillery.
That would disappoint a lot of artillery people.
I agree.
Unfortunately.
So, what maps would you say? Sorry, what maps and sides would you say have good artillery?
Oh,
I got a list actually.
Us just
I went
listed
through
them.
all of the maps.
Go for it, go.
go ahead, Coffin.
I don't place Artie, so I don't have a lot of room to talk.
Oh, Hughes wants to join.
But y'all keep him distracted while I look for this list that I went through. But
All
I can imagine.
I have to tell you about my next
Okay, here it
presidential
is.
election.
Alright.
Oh my god, he found it. He's huge.
Okay, I found it.
Oh, yeah, you found it.
I put Roulette Lane, Union player. Roulette Lane, I believe, is good, especially when they come up to the snake fence on the right side up the hill. I believe Artie's really good there. Auto Sherrick Farm. I don't know why I put that actually. Never mind that. Nicodemus Hill, of course, for CSA. There's been plenty of times when Fort Kentucky was back and forth the CSA where Artie just won for us. We were like getting driven back at the stone wall at the top of the hill and just Venom and everybody just pounding the Union coming across. And they are the reasons why we win Nicodemus Hill sometimes. River Crossing, I believe, for CSA, I don't think CSA could win without Artie at all. I've never seen it. I've never seen Infantry just go out there and win.
They won it. They have won it plenty of times before artillery came out, and Union
That's
artillery.
before
has,
Artie.
Yes, but Union artillery has 2 cannons that don't necessarily ever get used, or only are used to block the pontoon. So, pretty much, Union artillery hasn't really made a difference for the Union side on that map. So the only
They already
difference,
has.
the only difference that on River Crossing is the CSA artillery. But without CSA artillery, it's pretty much exactly the way it was pre-artillery, which has been won plenty of times in the years before artillery came out.
Let's remember when that was like 150 server pop though, and now we're at 300.
That's a good point.
Big difference.
When new river crossing maps get up,
It's not impossible. In my whole career, I've seen only one CSA, just Infantry 1 river crossing.
And we were artillery at that time.
Yeah.
But when we're Union artillery on river crossing, I actually beg to defer. That makes a huge difference. I love and I always beg Venom for that pontoon gun, and we either load that bitch up with canister or case, and I have literally.
What did I do to your limber across the
when we
waters?
went against each other on that shit, fucker.
And I brought the 3-inch on Union gun. I brought the 3-inch covering the pontoon.
Yeah, Venom actually blew off my case on and flipped it when I was training some new guys and they moved into a position where Venom could see, and I was like face palming. I gave him a big reprimand. Oh,
but that goes. This all goes back to the same point Killer had earlier. Basically, what I'm hearing is it doesn't matter unless you guys are on Artie.
I mean,
here's the thing. I'm not trying to make it a general statement like fucking Grace Battery is perfect. It's not.
Yeah, we're not.
That's not what I'm trying to make, and that's not my intention.
But Hughes Battery over here, well, he's MSG now, but Hughes down here below me, he's actually very good as well. Like, he's another person I would highly recommend for artillery.
Yeah, speaking of Hughes, Hughes, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Hughes, former commander of the 1st New York Artillery Battery, which is the IVB's battery, but I am currently 2nd Lieutenant for the 1st Missouri, which is an MSG.
All right, thank you.
Oh no, why would you leave IVB?
I made a decision on an impulse, and I deeply regret it. But I'm happy. I'll admit it.
He must be deeply.
I'm sure they would let you join back.
What I did to my battery boys deserve better. What I
I'm
did.
sure MSG's commanders listening to this and thinking, oh, okay.
I've told them many times, but I'm very happy where I am, and yeah, I'm just very happy where I am.
It's good to hear.
All right, nice one. Back to artillery.
If
So,
anyone has any questions that's watching, please put them in the comment section. We will read them at the end. But yes, Killer.
Has nobody put any questions in yet? No, nobody has yet. I'm shocked.
Is infantry worth the manpower? Is the question.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely. Honestly, no. I think we should just remove infantry from the game. Quite honestly, not even worth the time.
Substitute it for cavalry.
Doing an artillery only match.
We all join Gray's battery as well. We'll never miss.
I would love to see that in Nicodemus, just battery itself, no infantry.
I've been thinking about that, and because I know at least for BLN we're supposed to have like one extra round at the end of the season, and might do something stupid like that.
well, pretty much the only supporting point that you guys have made today for why artillery is worth the manpower is because you guys are using it. Is literally the only point you said is it's about who's on the gun.
Yeah.
And where the best artillery shots we missed.
Killer, I've given you examples of what we have done, what Eagle has seen, and what we have seen. Am I promoting GB?
How long have you?
Am I promoting? Excuse me. Am I promoting GB? No, I'm not. Am I saying we're perfect? No, we're not. Okay.
How long have you been a battery for?
We've been a battery. Shit. How long has it been?
Like 4 months, right? 5 months.
For Gray's battery, 4 months. But when I was
Gray's battery being independent, but me doing artillery and the rest of the crew doing artillery from past regiments, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And your proudest moment is that one artillery shot on Nicodemus.
It's one of them. That's one of them.
The example that I gave.
You used that like.
Hold up, Englishman. Hold up. I was saying the only reason we actually showed that one is because it literally stopped an entire regiment from being able to play for the first few minutes. That's why. But we have other prouder moments, like the time me and Venom actually invented what we call combo shot.
Mm-hmm.
That shit.
And Burnside Bridge.
But again,
this case and Paz used canister.
Yep.
You know. Yeah.
Eagle.
I mean, yeah, it goes back to the question. You know, Killer. It's. I'm not even disagreeing with you, pal. You know, for me, the answer is it depends. It depends on the map. It depends who's conducting battery, and it depends who's behind the elevation screw.
Come on, Venom. Pick yes or no. We gotta have drama here. Come on.
There's
no gray zone. Come on.
Here's the thing. I'm not here to bring drama. I'm simply here to bring the evidence, statistics, and what we've seen and the experience we've had. Right. I mean, that's the question in hand. Right.
Yeah. Statistics are on average from the 30 to odd people that voted on that thing since we put it out yesterday. The vast majority of people think artillery is just a good support. And I'll use the example I used yesterday. My gaming chair is a great support. Means I don't have to stand. But I don't need it because I can stand.
Can you?
I don't fucking know.
It's not in terms if it's needed or not. It's just in terms of if it's there, it's support. But the people who's providing that support, are they team killing you, like in Duncan Church, or are they actually doing effective shots and providing support?
You're not always going to get effective shots. Eagle, how many shots out of 10 do you normally see hit on when you're recording?
1 or 2.
What is defined as an effective shot? What are we defining as an effective shot?
Something that kills at least 3 people, in my opinion.
I would agree.
I don't think Artie necessarily has to kill people every shot. Sure, it's good if it can kill people. That helps the team massively. But Artie, at the same time, should also be considered as an area denial tool. If I can at least get near your line and it scares them away, so my friendly's infantry can advance to that position, that's great. Like that's all. Like by all means, that is what I want to do. Or if I can keep them pinned down so my infantry can get better shots, or I can take time to aim my guns and hit that shot, perfect. Like that's a win-win.
Think about this though. How long does it take to also load a cannon? It's
not
longer
that
than
long.
It does take a long time. You gotta move your fucking.
You want to say? Okay, hold up. We got the legendary loader in here. Rocky,
that is true.
Take it away, Rocky.
White Death, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Rocky 2017. Other people know me as Section Chief White Death of Graves Battery.
Thank you. Glad you're here. Thank you, Venom, for that DM.
Why don't you tell them how fast you can load, White Death?
Okay, so
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you finish your thing. Then I'm gonna divert back to something else.
Go ahead.
10-4. Okay, so I played both infantry on artillery. It takes roughly what, give or take, 15 seconds, 16 seconds, 17 seconds to load a musket. It takes me all of 11 to load artillery.
That goes back to, again, you have the best arty in the game, and if anyone else is on arty, it doesn't matter. Most people aren't reloading in 11 seconds. And not to mention, it takes longer to aim a cannon than it does a rifle. I could just right click and I'm there. You guys have to account for use timer. And
when we talk
I'm
about
trained to
artillery-
load a rifle and to fucking shoot a rifle. It doesn't mean that it
And
doesn't
we've
affect
trained to use cannons. We just do what we do. That's our job. That's it.
We do our job.
It's way quicker to get a musket shot out than it will ever be to get a cannon shot out.
Also,
It's
on top of that,
a lot more time to aim it.
When it comes down to charges and all that jazz, if you have a lot of people on artillery on one side, that's going to be a huge detriment. It's not like artillery can fire to a big whole melee. Artillery is detrimental. I mean, you
Don't
can,
say
but
actually,
like the
you'll
team
kill. Yeah, it's not
You know,
worth
it's
it.
funny
At that
because
point.
I've told the boys, if you have, what have I told you boys? If you get a team kill here and there, but you get the bigger fish, just go for it.
That's the thing.
The majority of the time,
Artillery
the
doesn't
bigger
get a
fish
kill
is
most
the
of
team
time.
kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, artillery will at most kill 1 or 2 a shot.
But it goes back to what Grant said. Kills are awesome, but what else do we do? You go on the others?
Denial of area sounds like if I
we
go
make them
there,
fall
I'm
on
going.
their ass.
If
We make them
denial of
fall on their
area
ass now.
sounds like if I go there, I'm gonna shot by artillery and killed by it. That's what that
Yeah.
denial of area sounds to me. But when artillery does hit, it at most gets 1 or 2 kills. Killer, I have a
do you know if
question.
just to
When you
counter that-
lead, Killer,
Oh, go
when
on.
you lead your line and you see artillery like getting close to you, does it affect your strategy at all? Because when I've talked to leaders, I don't know, it might be different for you, but like Sevi, for example, of course, he's very anti-artillery. But Sevi, like, he doesn't care about artillery. I've talked to maybe one or the other 2 leaders that just don't care about artillery. And if I'm leading, I wouldn't care if artillery gets close to me because at most get 1 or 2 kills. Maybe on the rare exception, it'll get like a big hit. But that's so very, very rare. And if we keep moving, it's hard for artillery to hit. But I guess Killer, how often do you move just to our?
Say on a map like, I don't know, Burnside's Bridge, for example, as a CSA. Obviously the old strategy was to pretty much line up at the base of the bridge on the hill and just shoot the hell out of the Union as they come across the bridge. And that then changed to then regiments standing further away from the bridge because of the Union artillery. And now it's pretty much changed to just stand as close as you want. But literally, all you need to do, if your line is spread out, it doesn't matter how well of a good shot that line is, or that artillery shot is. I don't care if I lose a couple of guys to an artillery shot. I'll sometimes have like my XO or some officers in my being like, artillery's gonna hit here soon, because they just hit a shot 10 yards in front of us before, so they're gonna end up having a good one eventually. And then it doesn't necessarily matter. Like if artillery overshoots or undershoots, we know they're eventually gonna end up getting an accurate hit on us. But if we're doing damage from where we are, it's good. And a good counter to artillery is to just get in the friendlies or the enemy's face. Because the one thing you don't want to do is shoot an artillery shot towards an enemy line that is very close to friendlies and end up hitting friendlies. So it's like artillery doesn't necessarily... All it does is it changes initial strategy. But later in the game anyway, it just comes down to the fact, like, if you're attacking, you got more tickets anyway, and artillery shot's not going to do too much. If you can charge the arty, just kill it as soon as you can, and then that's that 6 to 50 guys or whatever that they got on there, just done for the rest of the game. And most of the time, the only time I've been scared or feared certain artillery, or certain cannons, I should say, is on the likes of Piper and Garlands when they get used as cannon walls, or on Hagerstown. Cannon walls are now a more popular thing on some maps than people actually using artillery anyway, because cannon walls, in my opinion, are just better on some maps than actually having guys on the guns. Say, like on River Crossing, blocking the pontoon bridge with a cannon and a case on. That that was probably one of the best things the Union ever did with a cannon on that map. There's not much else you can do. You can fire one shot as they're running across. You might kill a couple, between like, I don't know, between like 3 and 10 guys, something like that.
Oh, wait,
But-
on what map?
River crossing, pontoon bridge.
Wow, you need to have me as gunner then.
Oh,
Again, are you the only good Artie?
I'm the best.
Basically, what I've
shot
come
in the
back to
game.
is y'all are basically the best Artie in the game, and no
You
one can
could hire
challenge
me.
me.
Yeah. So pretty
I was
much,
charging too much.
unless you are Gray's battery, artillery is useless. Is the only defense that we've had for why artillery is not.
Again,
always
I actually recommended Second Lieutenant Hughes down here, who was also.
That was after he joined. Beforehand, it was just Gray's battery.
Any other?
Well, again, there's actually others I'd
I
recommend.
love how we're bringing up where it's useless, but we've come to the consensus that it's actually a good support. I mean,
Yes.
the poll itself demonstrates it. Most people have said as well. Even me as a battery commander, I'm saying battery is good support.
Same here.
But obviously, I have to say this once again. I'm not trying to put GB on a fucking pedestal and say we're perfect, and unless you have us, you're gonna lose. No, that is completely false.
Yeah.
I'm saying as GB, as Gray's battery, as the experience we've had, and the members are in the battery itself, we've had a lot of experience, a lot of training, and we know the maps. We just know what to do. So, for example, Killer, right? Go for it, Coffee Kill.
Go for it, Coffee.
I'm just saying, in War Brothers, we have 2 batteries called Third Horse Artillery Battery for the Union, and then P battery for ABs for the CSA battery. And plenty of times, AB from the P battery has shot at us, and I'm not saying GB is the only good battery because there are plenty of good batteries out there. Of
AB's
course,
who you're talking about, Coffee? Yeah, I've played with them. They're good.
Daytona's pretty good. Third Horse
How is
pretty
Daytona?
good.
doing? Sorry.
I have.
After the podcast.
Is War of Brothers more like the line battle type deal though?
War of Brothers, we don't put on our bayonets until breaking, so I guess you could say it's more line infantry. We could charge each other out, but it's more like the butt of our rifles at each other. And if you have a sword, of course, you could use a sword. But
So it's in a version
that's
of HRE.
What was that, Hughes?
what Hughes.
It's in a version of HRE.
Other units I'd
Oh.
recommend. Clark's battery has actually surprised me quite a few times. They've gotten some really good shots in.
No.
Is
They've got some really good shots into the back of my line. That's what they've done.
Clark's battery is one battery that I hated being with.
I don't blame you, but I have seen him make some good shots.
Everyone
Of
gets
course,
good shots
every
once in a
artillery
while.
has got good shots.
I
Yeah,
was,
I can
I was
show
just
you.
wondering, Coffin, because I
Go ahead.
think in the European events that are more line battle, artillery
Mhm.
can get great shots because everyone's just moving slowly in big lines, shooting the whole game. That's why I was asking if you guys
So,
did that. Because I think
for us, go ahead.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
you finish. I'm moving on to a different point with that.
War Brothers is more like that line battery because we don't allow Rambos. I know a lot of people will say that's a dumb rule. I kind of like it. I hate getting Rambo killed and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the rule. But yeah, it's more like a line battle. We have to think before we do and stuff. We don't have the privilege to have a bayonet on most of the round. So sometimes we are just shooting in lines, and then Artie just shoots and kills half our line, and then we have to fall back and retreat. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it depends on also the event you go to, because like and all that, you could charge out and use your bayonet and move quickly. With our events, we have to slow it down, see what we have to do and stuff like that. So
Can I ask one question to any of the artillery guys to answer? If
What's
on
up, bro?
most on most maps, if you didn't have a single person on artillery, would would infantry win or lose more? If they didn't, if there was not, or if there was
That's a
not like
redundant
say,
question.
no, take Antietam for example, right? On Antietam as the CSA, because I think, well, GB, you guys are a CSA battery, aren't you, or Union battery?
We're
Either
mercenaries.
one.
We fight for both.
All right, well,
Both
we'll just
phases
take it
of
as a CSA for example. On all the Antietam maps for CSA, if we didn't have a single guy in artillery, do you think the infantry or the CSA would win or lose more?
I can't give you a definitive answer because that's an
Or do you
opinion
think they
answer.
would
It
they
literally
still
depends on the commander.
would they lose more?
It
That's it.
depends on the
It
commander.
depends.
Again, it depends on the strategy.
I can't tell yes or no. That's not a yes or no answer. That's an opinion based answer if anything.
No, it's more of a case of does artillery do enough on those maps to literally help the CSA win,
It
or
it goes
or
again with what I mentioned
or
earlier. It
without
depends. It,
artillery on some of those maps, is there any chance for the CSA to win?
Hi, I'm gonna step in here. I,
Go ahead, use.
I feel like there's times where artillery can be completely useless. I'll admit it, there is. But there's also times where infantry can be completely useless. They work hand in hand. I don't know if this is gonna kind of answer your question, but
No.
But I had this all worked up in my head. Now I'm trying to think of how to word it.
You can still win a game even if you have useless artillery on your team. It's very
you
hard to
can,
win a
you
game if
can.
you have useless infantry on your team.
Oh, absolutely. But there's also times where battery can help infantry get through a situation. Say, I'm going to use there on the church. Say Union pushes up there on Ducker Church, tries to take the temple. They can't take it. There's just too much. The entire CSA team's there. They just can't take it. If battery were to pound that point and not say get a bunch of kills, but make it to where they have to fall back some, because they're constantly losing their flag or their officer or something like that, because that's where we're hitting. They have to fall back some. That can help the infantry take that spot. So if they work hand in hand, they can both be.
You'll never
I'll give you a prime example. Okay, Auto Shark
but
Farm.
Leave it on that one for a second. When will you ever see like CSA is already pretty much? I mean, I rarely see CSA win that map. I'm not gonna lie. Killer might see it more than I do, but I
is one of the best maps in the game.
what?
Donut Church is one of the best maps in the game.
Yeah, we want
like the arty's not changing that much. Last map we played, the arty did nothing. They were team killing their own people, and CSA still lost.
There's the potential. Battery has the potential. Is it always going to happen? No. Does it have the potential to change the outcome of battle? Yes, it does. One example is an Outer Shore Farm. On those two guns on the right flank, those two 10-pounders. It is crunch time. The Union have to cap the point. They win. CSA have been brought off the point and been pushed back. Union was 3 seconds from capping point, and I had that slimmer of chance to send a K shot over there, blind firing through the tree and just going off of point. And by my experience, I managed to send a shot. I managed to send a shot into that herd of Union. Got rid of enough for the point to start going back down, and CSA won that match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that
Those
is
two
just
guns-
one example.
The two
It has
guns
the
at the
potential.
top of that hill, for any side playing Union or Sherrick, if they have artillery at the top of that hill, it is in some cases better for the Union if they have artillery at the top of that hill, because all those two guns up there are just a fucking ticket dump.
Yeah, they
really
are if you stay put in that same position, unless you move the guns back behind the tree and the rock.
Mm-hmm.
They are just they're just a
Something
ticket
to
dump.
rebuttal you, Killer. You said the only killer artillery is getting in our infantry's face. Coffin Kill, you remember how many danger close shots we've made and saved y'all from charges? Would you like to tell about some of those times?
Saved BNB?
Yeah. There's been some times you done
Coughing,
oh crap!
that, but again, there has been. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Hello.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
There has instances where you. Am I lagging? I'm sorry.
No,
guys.
you're chilling.
No, you're good there.
Okay.
Okay. There's been times where you have saved us from charges, but there has been some times you have team killed us, which
Mhm.
it happens.
Well,
Wait,
that's why I
Grace
said
Battery,
danger
I
Grace
close.
guess
Battery team kills?
Every
my
battery is
God.
yeah.
susceptible to team kills.
Oh my
If y'all
God.
don't know, Graves Battery was a 4th Kentucky. If y'all didn't know that,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
but
yeah.
And I did say danger
I
close, killer, so keep that in mind.
yeah. uh, again, I'm not every map needs battery. I don't think. But I do believe some cases in some maps you absolutely need battery. Um,
It can be a
like
big stress
Nicodemus
reliever.
and which we're going back and forth. It's like a political discussion. I'm not going to change your mind.
There's
You're
only
not going
one
to
right answer.
change their mind. It's yeah. So it's
In the end
at
of
this
the
point, I'd
day,
say we
It's
disagree
for
to
the
yeah,
audience
disagree.
to decide to make
Yeah.
it's a game. In the end of the day, and what does the game provide? Infantry and battery. In some cases, that's all there is to it. That's really it. I mean,
It's a competitive game, and you know, regiments play well for the most part to win because you don't go to an event because you want to lose, so you go there because you want to win because
right.
winning is fun.
I don't like
And
winning.
I mean, winning isn't the only thing that's fun in this game. There's been many instances, and I mean, the
well,
IVB where
no,
we
but
lost, and
Winning is the main point. If you want to lose, you smell bad.
well, no,
you can
here's the thing:
still lose,
winning
and you
is
can still
nice.
lose and have fun.
Winning is nice, and if losing you can have fun, you can have fun. But I mean, if we just wanted to say no artillery because that always makes us lose, so all you want to do is win all the time, you're gonna lose. What? There's probably 50, 60, I don't know how many people who love artillery in this game. I mean, there's more than that, but you're going to lose all those people because, they don't want to play infantry because they don't want to get up there, run, die, spawn in, run, die. They don't want to do that. It's repetitive.
Yep.
Batteries are repetitive, but, it's not that constant dying and looking at that screen of flag out of line, flag skirmishing, flag dropped, So it's a game. It's meant to have fun. Why lose all those people just because you just want to win all the time and boost your ego?
So with
Not
that
really.
point,
I mean, we're
with
talking
that
about
point,
egos.
yeah,
Jeez.
Killer, make a quick point, and then we're gonna move on to questions from the chat. Ask them
Just
if you have them.
I think everybody in this VC came with an ego tonight, including myself, to be fair.
Not
But
me.
I mean, you shit. Stop lying.
Hilarious.
No, I came here to
it-
support Bus's point.
Actually,
Bus.
can I read Bus's statement that he sent me yesterday that I didn't read out?
Sure.
Okay. Artie isn't useless. It's like your younger gay brother who's gay but is really good at accounting, so he does your taxes for you. But he's really gay, and he also does your taxes about a month late. But in all, Artie is useless, and you should only put one man on to aim at point and be gay when the time comes.
Inspirational bus quote.
Just to point that out, Boss is gay, okay? So it's not homophobia.
Is he?
He's bi. It's close enough.
He's leaving. Anyways, if you have any questions for anyone on the panel, I've written down the questions we've gotten so far. But if you have any more, please put them down, smash like, and let's go going through these questions. So first one I got, what is the best map that artillery has done? Oh my, I need to read these questions before saying
These
them.
are gonna be directly targeted towards the RD guys.
Yeah,
in here.
most likely because they're the ones.
The Artie
defending it.
scrutiny day.
Oh, I think this one is towards the anti-artillery people. What's the best map
Oh.
that you've seen artillery do? And how were you impressed?
Fuck.
The first time I think I saw Graves Battery on Nicodemus Hill putting one man on a gun. I think that's how you got to do it. You can't have 2-3 men on a gun, at most 2, and even then that's iffy. But
Dang.
I think Graves Battery did good on Nicodemus Hill. Have
You know
one
what, I
man
like-
on a gun, I think, is good.
I'd like to point out, Eagle, I'm still mad at you for that because First New York was there too.
Aw, dang, I'm
Never
sorry.
mentioned this one. And I was IVB, didn't even mention us.
That was indeed the.
Eagle's not IVB anymore. Come on, he's
No, I'm
he's
Sussy
BLN
line.
now.
No, I mean Battle Line.
He's
Yeah,
Northern Virginia Line Network. No,
Those
Northern
second
Virginia Network.
lieutenant roles looked
ANV Network.
ANV Network.
I don't know. His second roles look good. in the
Ooh,
IVB server.
a map. The first time we created an arty wall on Garland Stan, that was good.
You're not even.
That's not even a.
No, it's with artillery. It's a.
It is a use.
Yeah, do you know how much fear it put in the eyes of the Union when they charged that wall for the first time? And
Actually, I think it was on the other team when that happened. No?
Flabbergasted by Hood's division's creation
That does
of
come back.
artillery on that wall.
Communication is key.
Hey, artillery did well. They created that wall. The infantry didn't. You know, that was a masterpiece. That was a masterpiece.
Oh my god.
Shade.
I really couldn't tell you because most of the RD I see doesn't do the best. But there's always those few shots that I can't see as I'm playing infantry 90% of the time.
I will say when I did that recording, when I recorded the EU and NA event on that Friday, the 2 Fridays, on that EU event, you don't watch your own videos, Eagles. You wouldn't know this.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there was some actually really good artillery shots on hills that were just absolutely like pounding it at 40 seconds. Was that NA? No, it might. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the NA on a hills counterattack. I did the EU event too, and I ended up giving a medal out to one of my artillery corporals at promotions on Sunday because he was the one on that gun that day, and he got a medal for that. It was some good artillery shots, and he was giving them hell. So yeah, it was good. I don't hate artillery. I think artillery is nice. I like my priority guys, and I like giving people artillery. But I just think
we love you too, Eagle.
Blood to the infantry, infantry gods.
That is something I wish I could do.
Blasphemy. It's corn.
God,
you crackhead.
I wish I could watch artillery all game in regimental matches and then see how many shots they hit and miss. Like how many kills.
You wouldn't be very pleased with those numbers. Me and you both know that.
No, I know. I just think because most of this discussion has been from what you've seen from your view, and there's a view from shooting the gun to when you're infantry to when you're spectating, right?
But
so
keep in mind we're also looking at who we're spectating. So we see the infantry, but you just don't see many arty shots hit them.
Eagle, next time I record with you, I'll just watch artillery.
And say, "Wow, great shot."
I'll keep a tally.
Put Corporal Cal, the first New York on there. He'll hit every shot. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it was like on HRA on Sunday. You were saying how good priority guys were doing from Dunker Church.
Did you watch the BLN video of Dunkers on Sunday when the thumbnail was like artillery team kills continuously?
That was hilarious.
I did not. Please don't tell me that.
Cal was in charge of the gun that was continually killing his teammates, and then when they were talking about it, he denied that there was team killing happening. And he said he was shooting the church when he was hitting the nipple over and over again.
Was he aiming the gun or commanding the gun?
He was commanding overall. But
put him on the little spinny spike, then it's okay. I didn't say put him with binos.
Fair enough.
That was a lot of miss, I'll tell you what.
There was
the only person that killed with Artie that game was me. And I was in the church, and it was in Last Stand, so it didn't matter.
If you ever decide to watch artillery like that, Eagle, I highly recommend you watching Venom on gun if he'll ever go back to being on a gun.
Even Venom hates
White Death, Hughes.
I know it's a battle.
That if we did that case study though, if you want to call it that, you'd have to watch a lot of matches. You can't just watch like 5 and call it a day.
Is there any more questions, Eagle?
There's a couple more. So I guess this is artillery. Can you still bounce shots off the tower on the pontoon opening on Rivers Crossing?
That depends. They keep changing the physics on us. That's one problem artillery has. And I've noticed this sometimes the bounce mechanic will be on and we'll be bouncing rounds off. And then other times it'll just stick in the ground The deaths seem to keep flipping back and forth. Right now, my 12-pound canister is broken, so I've been crying about that, and I need more alcohol. But
Jesus.
oh, jeez, I need to cry again. Jeez. It really does depend because the physics do tend to change quite a bit, and we've all had to adjust our guns because we noticed that they're shooting up more now for some reason, but it is what it is.
I never got to play River Crossing with the IVB, so I don't know, and it kind of made me sad.
Sevi likes to charge. That's all you need to know.
Trust me, I know he does.
He charges. He charges across the bridge.
There's
He
many
charges
times.
the CSA spawn.
Dude, I wish Sevi would charge it when I'm on the pontoon gun.
There's
I
many
will have
times
a
where I've had
canister
to tell
with
him why
his name on it.
All right, next question. Dedicated to an important man. Killer.
Oh Lord.
How many times on Nicodemus Hill have you been obliterated by artillery?
Ooh, over the year. How long's
Answer
artillery been out
0.
for?
Next question. No.
I quite a few because I put myself in terrible positions. Not my line, myself, in terrible positions all of the time because in the name of scooting, because I am my own scout, okay, because my eyes don't lie. Remember that.
That's so
and I'd say I probably die less as the Union than I do as the CSA. On Nicodemus. I die more on the CSA side than I do as on the Union side. Because on the CSA side you stand still for a longer period of time. Whereas on the Union side
That's interesting.
you necessarily don't. The only real place you can get killed necessarily as the Union is when you're going across that open field on the CSA left, Union right side. And then once you get up towards that house and up that hill, and if you can get on the little fence just below the artillery when they can't really get good shots on you unless they go on those far two guns by the forest, there's not really much the artillery can do for you then.
Funny.
And then our last.
Yeah, I mean you can't shoot through the ground, so you definitely ain't hit me there.
Shay, is this your
unless Grace Barry
Yes,
can.
this is my doing.
Dude, I wanted to ask the last question, and then Bus could say his piece, then we'd end it. But anyways, last question.
Hold on.
Bus, what do you got?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Last question.
All right.
Go for it. Go. I just wanted to come in and interrupt you.
I don't know who this is. 2, but it says, "What is your worst moment you experienced with artillery in War of Rights?" I don't know what worst means. Like, worst
last week.
I was 7 years old and I was touched by an artilleryman, and I was alone and I was just trying to be on the gun, and he came up to me and he told me, "You know how important artillery is?" And then he touched me on the earlobe, and then he kissed me. I enjoyed it. That's when I knew that I was gay.
Damn.
That's another inspirational story from Bus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to work. Back to work.
Yeah.
Too much toilet time, man.
They're putting it into our schools. They're putting artillery into our schools, making us fly artillery pride flags in the schools. They're teaching our children that it's right. It's natural. It's not natural. It's like counterattack being that. It's just not natural. It's just not how the world should be. Artillery pride flags should not be in the school.
It's a game mechanic.
Critical artillery theory needs to get out of these schools, man. I don't get it, man. I don't understand. This should be up to the family at home telling you how important artillery is. It shouldn't be the schools telling you, man. It shouldn't be the battle line networks telling you how good or bad artillery is, man. It's to the family, man. Stop putting up artillery pride flags, dude. That's all I gotta say.
So
man.
all I hear here is that the announcers on Battle Line should not give their opinions. So next time you broadcast, Boss, I just want you to just talk about what you're seeing with your eyes.
I'm going to talk, the stuff, the food in front of me and the crustiness of my keyboard because I don't clean it because I'm dirty and grimy.
Okay, buddy.
Women and men like that.
Anyone have any worse artillery experiences before we call it off for a night?
Yeah, probably my man.
I have. Oh, whoever's about to speak can go ahead.
You got it.
Go for it, Grant.
All right. So one time, all right, this was probably about a year ago. It was a Miller's Cornfield match. It was on pubs. We were pub stomping. We were out there killing. We're about, give or take halfway through the round. It's a pretty monumental part. And So we've been working to aim the gun in, getting it right there where it needs to be on point. And at the time, one of our officers, Johnson, is commanding the battery, and he's like looking, and he's like, "All right, Grant, well, go ahead and fire whenever you're ready." I'm like, "All right, are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine. No one's on the point." Anyway, I shoot. Fun fact: the shot was perfect into friendlies. I got about 6 TK bans, killed about half the team, and let's see what else happened. I think that single-handedly lost Union the game because it was like right when the CSA was charging, if I remember right.
God bless artillery.
Yeah, mine is guy in my regiment named Mikado. He was on already one game. He decided it was a good idea to put a shot into point and ended up getting banned probably about 23 times in chat. So
Oh my god.
I don't know what the shot hit, but it was unfortunate, and we gave him an award for that. So,
I
long live
remember
Mikado.
this one time on Hill's counterattack shade. You might have heard the sound clip. A guy called Kronk, who was in my regiment at the time, led my artillery, decided to shoot an artillery shot on a point because he thought it was Union, and it was actually CSA. And I got a very, very nasty whisper in my ear on TeamSpeak by the infantry commander that my artillery guy had happened to destroy in terms of their line. And it was get Kronk the fuck off Artie, I believe the statement was.
Yes, I have that clip in many different areas.
Yeah, it's a sound clip that goes around now. Kronk no longer is on artillery. God bless Kronk.
The award actually was called a Kronk Award, so that's the award Mikado won.
My worst shot, although I think it's my best because of what happened. I started worshiping Korn, the fourth Chaos God, or is he the first Chaos God? I don't know. But I dedicated a shot to Korn in front of the entire team and killed about 60 teammates with a single canister round. I was banned.
Damn. Kind of reminds me, my story is I was a cannoneer for 1st Tennessee back in the day. All right. And the map was Bloody Lane. Mind you, the weather was not good at all for us for some reason on our side where artillery was positioned. It was foggy as shit. Okay. So we couldn't see what was going on. I get the command to shoot at point. Right. I'm like, okay, all right, you want to shoot at point? Got it. Bam, I send one. 18 kills. I'm like, sure, I don't think I can send another one because I see the face of, the skull that you see when you get a lot of team kills? And he's like, no, don't worry about it, send another one. Bam, 5 more team kills. I'm like, you know what? I just stepped behind the cannon and I literally took a knee and I just folded my arms. And I was like, I can't fire anymore, man. There's just friendlies down there. You need to make sure who is down there. And comes to show, this was back then, so probably the update or whatever, comes to show that the infantry had a bright summer day down there and it was all foggy where we were at. So that was probably my worst day.
I'm English. This also in the 1st Tennessee when this happened. We were playing Pry Ford, and the rebels have a blue flag on that map. Artillery officer said, "See that blue flag? I want it dead." We go, okay. We sent a salvo of 4 guns down that way. Let's just say that was our infantry line, and it went bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got banned because we all killed more than 3.
Flame killer.
What did I
Gotta
do?
know your flags, man.
I don't know.
Even Union have a red solid flag. Gotta know them.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you for coming to Artillery Anonymous here at the end. I hope you all enjoyed the Is Artillery Worth the Manpower? Say your thoughts in the comments, whatever. If you join, please like, comment, share, subscribe for more. We'll be doing this weekly. If you have ideas, let me know. We'll be glad to talk about them. If you want to join the podcast, go to the Battle Line Discord, and then in the notifications roll channel, you can select the podcast role. If you want to support the channel, go below the video, hit the join button, and you can see all the perks and prices there. But I guess we'll go through everyone quickly again if you want to do a little quick outro of yourself. We got White Death.
Hello.
Venom?
Say goodbye, White Death.
Yeah.
Say adios or something, dude.
Man, you must have been hugging me.
Well, for me, thank everyone who was watching and listening. I want to thank all of you that was present today. I had a very fun time discussing with you all. Once again, I'm Captain Venom, Snake of Gray's Battery. Thank you.
Grant?
First off, I'd like to say, just like Mr. Venom just said, thank you for everyone that came out. It was pretty huge. It was a very fun debate. Thank you for everyone that listened. Quite frankly, it's the biggest. It's the hugest. And well, quite frankly, we're gonna build back better. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big. And artillery is looking to it's gonna be up by 25%. The kills are gonna be up by 25% in the next quarter because they're just all right. Thank you. Good night.
Panzer.
This was a blast. I actually expected it to be a lot worse and I wanted more alcohol, but turns out I didn't need it. I actually was impressed with the conversation. But good night, everybody. Skulls for the Skull Throne and praise corn every time you team kill.
Coffin.
Thank y'all for letting me on here, and I'm Lieutenant Colonel Cofferkill for the 4th Kentucky.
Shade.
Thanks for having me, Eagle. And also my conclusion from this: never take Gray's battery off of Artie. Put him on it.
Killer.
Thank you.
God save the king.
Shut up, Killer.
Hughes.
God save Ireland.
Long live Missouri.
And yeah, thank you all for watching. We'll see you with Battleline Wednesdays tomorrow night if you're in the event. If not, you'll see the video on Thursday. And yeah, have a